Hello and welcome to Youngstown Playlist, a show dedicated to highlighting local music right here in Youngstown, Ohio. Grab your finest washboard and meet us for some front porch jamming with none other than Larry Elefante.
Once I was a younger man, once I was an older child. Once I was a younger man, once I was an older child. The older I get, the better you look. The bigger the hunger, bigger we cook. And baby cook, we will. Not afraid to come, say silly things to you. But either way, we both know you're gonna do what you're gonna do. You might as well do it with me. You might as well, while I'm still free. Once I was a younger man, once I was an older child. Once I was a younger man, once I was an older child. I'm missing a friend. I'm old enough to know better, young enough not to care. Smart enough to play dumb when the time's right. Pull your hair. Some things only get better with age. Some are better when they're young and in the game. Whichever one that you are, your daddy loved you just the same. Once I was a younger man, once I was an older child. Once I was a younger man, once I was an older child. Once I was a younger man, once I was an older child. just can't seem to keep my spoon clean on when there's 31 flavors to try.
What's your flavor?
A man like me is plagued by varieties. I guess all flavors is my favorite kind. That kind of thinking gets you nowhere, son. That kind of thinking's for the birds. But honey on dirt doesn't make it dessert, no. That kind of thinking is absurd. Some things will never change. Once I was a younger man, once I was an older child. Once I was a younger man, once I was an older child. Once I was a younger man, once I was an older child. Once I was a younger man, once I was an older child.
Thank you.
So, talk a little bit about this project, the beginnings of Larry Elefante.
Larry Elefante, as it began, was Uncle Larry originally in New York City with Eli Bridges and myself and Dan Africano and a couple other folks. We played Duck's Eatery in the East Village, and we had these little jam sessions at DBA in Brooklyn, a bunch of just acoustic players and open jams, and they kind of just formed out of the little pockets there. And then I discovered a band called Uncle Larry in Wisconsin, so then I just switched the name to Larry Elefante and kind of started from scratch, because I figured like I might as well not confuse people too much, if possible.
And I guess going off of that, talk about the evolution. I mean, there's a bunch of different configurations too. Like this is one configuration. If you're playing a different venue, you might see something else. So talk about how it's really constantly changing.
Yeah, well, Carrie and I have been kind of at the center of it, and when it comes to Northeast Ohio, set up as she was on the album, pretty much most of it. So it's pretty much her and I as a duo, and then Andre kind of pops in as a trio. Then we have Nick or Dave Lynn plays with us too. So there's a kind of an ever-changing cast, which I guess keeps it a little fresher, and it kind of depends on what show we're playing, what bill we're on, and like how many folks we could truly bring out.
Sure.
Because there's a good pool in Youngstown from the Susie's Open Jams. I went down there and was taking notes, you know, and I'm like, I got this guy on guitar, I got this guy on bass, and
Snapping pictures just like under the table, like,
I literally had notes. I had Gino West on my phone. I was like, I first met Andre, you and Andre were jamming, but Andre Reed was playing drums.
Yeah.
And I liked the way he played, because he's just like a straight pocket player, you know? So I'm like, oh, that guy's really good, you know?
Yeah, he started as a drummer. And then
Really?
he sits in with keyboards on you.
He plays keyboards with us too, Andre Reed. So there's like a ever-changing cast of just Youngstown pool. And Craig Hill was he was a wild card. We saw him, I was like, Craig Hill was in town. He almost was going to show up, but he had an obligation. He already. So I'm like, if you show up, you show up. If not, whatever, you know. I guess just kind of trying to utilize the pockets of players in town and who's available, and you know, keeping it fresh. I like the idea of Larry Elefante not being one particular person, besides Larry Elefante, you know. Like today we have Gary, Barry, Carrie, Terry, and we're in Gary Teneri's artist space. So today that's what Larry Elefante is.
Talk about your musical background. What are you pulling from? This is really like a throwback sound, which is exactly why I wanted to have you guys on the show. I'm always looking for a nice mix, and this really sticks out in what everyone else is doing currently. So talk about influences and you know what the mindset was when you were going into writing this material.
Well, Oldies 93, growing up. Everyone in the area grew up on Oldies 93, man. It was always about that old time rock and roll, man. My mom was a really big music person. She played piano, so she taught us to play piano when we were kids. We also had a player piano in our living room that my mom wants to throw at a party. She got it fixed up again. So you put these rolls on and you pump it and it plays the songs, like really intricate versions of songs, and you just sing along to it. So we were always kind of a musical household. The music itself, I always liked the kind of groovy back pocket stuff, that kind of New Orleans like back porch, Dr. John kind of feel, the meters and stuff like that. And I always like country too, because you know it's just part of. I went to school in Athens, and you're kind of deep in the green hole, so the Appalachia stuff, it all kind of blends in together nicely. I don't know, I like that old school country sound, and everyone seems to kind of be on that same vibe right now. It's cool. Carrie's being swap meet, same thing, kind of like ruckusy back porch, hillbilly stuff. So
Right.
it's a nice bridge.
The rub board came in. I had to get it in there. So.
You have to, because that's one of those instruments where you have it, and you're just waiting for that moment where someone's like, you know what we really need? And they're like, I got one.
You know, Mom's had a little basket full of like percussive instruments, tambourines, maracas, stuff like that, and scrapers, stuff like that, that we'd also use when we were playing. So it was very much like the idea of music was always like kind of a family affair. Whoever's there, but like then there's guests that come over and it's to sit in and sing with us. So I like to kind of keep that spirit alive with like always having guest players, even if it's just like 5 of us playing, having someone jump up and sing a song or two, like that idea.
Talk about the songwriting process. How are you approaching this material?
When I first started writing music, it was kind of coming up with hooks and jams, and then we would just beat the living life out of something for like 10 minutes, you know? And then we in Athens had a band called Cranberry Sauce with some good friends. We moved to LA, and we were trying to like figure out how to settle in, because we were playing like 3-hour shows with like 20 songs. So you're gonna like literally just strangle it to death, you know? Like just a 3-piece, you know? And noodling too much. When we got to LA, they're like, you have 35 minutes, 45 minutes to play a show. And we're like, what the hell are we gonna do? So we like really try to shorten things. And I remember this guy from one of the shows was like, dude, it's cool, it's got a good vibe, but when you sing, it's really bad. And when you solo, it's too much. And I'm like, okay. So I was like, well, I need to write songs that are more lyrically driven, that tell actual stories, you know? Because I mean, like, well, the best songs are good stories, you know? I'm not saying that my songs are like are good stories. I can't really tell, but I like the way they flow. But I took a long process to get to that, to where shortening things was kind of the mission. No, there's like the first 2 songs are 2 minutes on the album, which is a far distance from those 10-minute songs for no reason, you know? So just trying to clamp things down and, you know, reduce.
Yeah, that's one thing that you start off like more country driven, shorter at the beginning of the album, and then you're going into more rock, you know, just drawn out. Everybody gets a solo. You're just handing out solos in the street. So talk about finding that right, I guess, track listing, that flow of the album.
I'm a big fan of like the show itself. Something we could definitely work on, like when it comes to the stage, is like, you know, obviously starting really kind of quiet, maybe even we come out with like two of us, but like starting off slow and low and then just building pieces to it. Like the crescendo, I think, is very nice. Like, and the album's similar to what the show is. We kind of start off with that slower conscious stuff, and then we bring in a horn section if we got them, you know? I just like the idea of it going somewhere as opposed to just being the same the whole time through, you know? But the idea of a crescendo is very nice, arcs, and I appreciate that, you know?
What are your thoughts about nostalgia? Obviously, this project is deeply rooted in that, the sound, the album cover art. You know, like, just talk about, because some people say that nostalgia is a bad thing, and it's like we should just keep moving on. But I'm curious to see with something like this, the sound, all the artwork, and all that stuff. What are your thoughts about nostalgia?
I love. Everyone always kind of fantasizes about some point in time in the past that they would write. That's like, what is it, Midnight in Paris, where he has that one line where he's like, you know, everyone thinks they want to grow up where their idols grew up, and when their idols want to grow up 40 years in the past as well. Yeah. So I think any artist or musician's kind of like always fantasizing about an era that, you know, they didn't belong to, but might feel familiar to them, you know? I just like soul music in general, country music like that, just like heartfelt ballads, you know? Plus that photo album was just so ridiculous looking, with all those great pictures from '68, and the color scheme, orange and brown and pink, and I'm always attracted to this kind of shiny, old, kitschy stuff, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hint, yeah.
It takes you back to a time that seems like it was so much more simple. You know, before technology and social media and this and that, like where you could just, write a letter to somebody you like and, you know, wait a few weeks to see if they like you back, kind of thing, instead of what you have now. And I think that's a lot of our generation too, is like it's why it feels like we kind of refuse to grow up, you know, we're stuck watching reruns of our favorite cartoons and things like that.
Three's Company.
Yeah, it's just, there's, you know, the world is a big complicated mess right now, and it feels good to just kind of escape from that once in a while. And
that's a romantic period too. I just like the clothing and the architecture and like the simplicity of not having like access immediately, you know. Simpler for some, not for everyone.
That's our show. I want to thank Larry Elefante for coming and talking to us and playing for us. I want to thank Gary Teneri for letting us use his art gallery space on Phelps downtown. And I want to thank Allison Keith for the amazing artwork in the background. Be sure to like and share this video, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss another episode. See you next time.
Larry over here in the corner would like to thank Gary Teneri for having us in this gallery space. Larry Elefante, with Terry Elefante, Carrie Elefante, Barry Elefante, and Gary. And Jerry Elefante over here. So, thank you. On behalf of Larry, thank you so much for having us.
Yes, I made it. Awesome. That's good. I can't think of a better way to end that.
Mumbling off topic and off subject.